Wizards of the Coast has backpedaled on OGL changes after community backlash. Sort of. We've got a big update for you guys, but first, for those of you who didn't tune into the show last week, let's give you a little bit, let's get you up to speed a little bit. Wizards of the Coast, owned by Hasbro, runs Dungeons & Dragons, basically had a license agreement in place with whether it was third-party content creators or whether it was like community-run companies or even actually companies with significant revenues based on their Dungeons & Dragons IP. They had a license in place that pretty much allowed you to create derivative works without paying any kind of royalties and without worrying about any sort of legal action. The license was Perpetual, and it is a huge part of why the D&D community has grown so vibrantly over the last couple of decades. I mean, we're talking everything from third-party add-ons to, you know what? A perfect example of someone that could be affected by this is that local creator Filthy Lot, where they're doing those D&D live reenactments where they play the game and they do these like super high production value reenactments of their tabletop games. I could see someone like that, even if they ultimately aren't affected and they don't need to pay 25% of their revenues to Wizards of the Coast, I could see them being worried about the legal ramifications of the new general license. And that's one of the things that changed. All of a sudden, almost overnight, with almost no warning, any companies that were profiting off of Dungeons & Dragons were going to have their license agreement changed. So this included a 25% revenue garnish. I think you had to submit basically anything to do with Dungeons & Dragons to them for, if not approval, at least for them to look at and be aware of. There were a handful of other particularly awful things, and it was basically going to happen like in a couple of weeks. Now, the thing leaked, and the community got understandably outraged because this is Wizards of the Coast basically coming in and going, you know what? The D&D community, the players, are woefully undermonetized. And that's not even me just like trying to sound like an evil executive. The CEO of Wizards of the Coast actually said that, which is terrible. Described the player base as undermonetized. And it's like, even if you're right, okay? Even if your MBA ass knows what you're talking about. Come on, man! Come on! You can't... That's like... It's like... Oh, man. How do I... It's just disrespectful. Like, it's like if I referred to you guys as walking wallets instead of our community, right? Even if I saw you that way, even if I fucking did, right? You walking wallet pieces of shit. Even if I felt that way, you don't say the quiet part out loud. It's not tactful. It's disrespectful. So anyway, let's get you guys up to speed. D&D Beyond staff, okay, have released a statement about the recent OGL changes. They have 3 goals in mind. They had 3 goals in mind. Okay. To prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. Okay. To address those attempting to use D&D in Web3/blockchain/NFT material. Oh, I'm already calling bullshit on this because the document, okay, so the original license agreement was like, how many pages? I don't remember, but the new one's like 900 pages and has extensive documentation about like Web 3.0, blockchain, NFT crap. And as far as I can tell, this is not about preventing others from doing it. This is about making sure that they can do it and others can't. Anywho, hold on. And reason number 3, to ensure that OGL is for the content creator /homebrewer/aspiring designers, etc. as opposed, I guess, to anyone who's looking to commercially profit off of it. But that's the thing. You got to understand. When you create an open ecosystem where people can profit, you create a financial incentive for creativity. That's the whole point. That's what you benefited from. And so now you're basically going, this is going great. Let's get more benefit. All right. There were apparently two principles driving these goals. Be good stewards of the game, and that the OGL exists for the benefit of the fans. Nothing, this is a quote, nothing about these principles has wavered for a second. All of the royalty language was apparently meant to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGL content and wasn't meant to impact the vast majority of the community. Man, that's the problem when the lawyers get involved. Even if that's true, even if that was the intent, the problem is that the OGL seemed to give them a lot of flexibility to crack down on pretty much anything that they didn't agree with. The next OGL will contain provisions, this is going back to this, to protect and cultivate an inclusive environment. Education, charity, live streams, cosplay, etc. will remain unaffected. Okay, but man, there's some really fine lines here, right? Like, okay, what is cosplay? If I dress up as some D&D IP character or class of character, what, I mean, can you copyright a fucking elf at this point, right? I don't think so. So okay, I'm cosplaying some D&D something, and it's clearly, let's say it's clearly infringing, right? What if I cosplay and I'm in a video? What if that video is monetized? What if I didn't profit, but the maker of the video profited? What if I'm not in a video? What if I'm just at a con? I'm at PAX, or I'm at Comic-Con, or I'm at something. I'm at some kind of gaming convention. What if, I mean, imagine me, okay? I want to be a sexy elf, okay? I've got a bikini as part of my cosplay, right? Exactly, right? So someone slips a 1 to my G-string. Okay, have I profited now? Is this commercial? There's clearly some fine lines here, is what I'm trying to say. Now, they also say content released under 1.0a will remain unaffected. No royalty structure included, no license-backed provision under the new OGL. You will own the content you create. Okay? They've also said that the OGL update will not release today, but it is coming. What we saw was a draft sent out to content creators. Nobody drafts a document like, well, okay, yes, you do draft a document like that, but a draft of a document like that is unlikely to be so far off the mark. If it was all about cultivating and inclusivity as opposed to, where's my money? Where's my money, bitch? All right. There was a very cheeky and salty line that was applied to this announcement that is being made fun of online. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we? The fuck is wrong with you? Who talks like that? Who sends a letter like that to their customers? That's like them releasing a fucking t-shirt. That's like, trust me, bro. The new OGL will be epic. Okay, but seriously though, in the case of the warranty drama, our track record and our intent was clear. We have always had a basic policy for customer care. Make it right. we got a little slow. Okay, we have quadrupled the size of our customer care team. We are actually, I was told that by today we would be down to 24 hours, and we haven't actually told anyone yet, but some of the temps, I believe, will actually be retained because we're going to be building new systems whenever there's downtime when it comes to actually responding to tickets. One of the things we're going to start doing is combing through reviews on the site for feedback. We're going to be compiling that for the product development team. So essentially, like customer, ticket answer department is going to turn into more of like a customer experience department and is going to be designed to continue to make everything better, from response times to future products, to even like midstream improvements on existing products. You can expect to see all of that from us in the future. Apparently it's called customer satisfaction. Is that what the department's called? Okay, whatever. Whatever we end up calling it, it's not just about answering tickets. And the t-shirt was a miscalculation. I'm not going to lie, I still think it's funny. But I live in my head where I knew my intent all along. And the thing that I missed in all of that, the thing I totally missed in all of it, was that a lot of you don't. Right? You don't. You don't know what my intention was, and I've told you guys, don't trust, or at very most, trust but verify, right? And so for me, it was very obvious. I'm looking at it going, well, I've got this super long track record of taking care of our community. Also, even if I didn't, I would be insane. I'd be insane to screw anyone over. If we actually did, right? Like, if we actually did, look at how much it blew up when we didn't actually screw anyone over. If we actually just started denying warranty claims on products on our store, it would explode. It would explode the entire techosphere. I'm not a sucker for that kind of punishment. So from my point of view, it was A, I've got this track record, and B, isn't this obvious? But from your point of view, maybe you were a first-time viewer of that show. Maybe you're a first-time viewer of this show. It's usually not like this. Maybe you were a first-time viewer of that show, right? Maybe you'd never ordered from the store before. Maybe you actually had no context whatsoever for what our policies were. And maybe all you saw was quite wealthy, influencer. That's a reference to last week's show as well. Basically, saying, F you want a warranty? Well, go fuck yourself, basically, right? And that was never my intention, but I think we've made good on it. And I think that in the same way, even though they issued this spectacularly stupid statement, they still have an opportunity to not screw this up. They still can. They haven't actually released the new OGL. Until they do, they can still reverse course. Well, yeah, okay. So Luke's got some thoughts. They have already permanently alienated large parts of the community. This is true. And all in the name of what? Inclusivity? Good fucking job. And they have also, if the idea here was to not allow potential competitors to benefit from their content, man, this was the biggest shot in the arm that they could have possibly given to their competitors. Just this morning, Paizo began solidifying their own OGL. It will apparently be system agnostic, perpetual and irrevocable, an open RPG creative license, ORC. They are looking for a non-profit organization with a history of open source values to own the license. This would be similar to the Linux Foundation, and are essentially coming in and saying, even if these guys reverse course, what they've shown is that you're a walking wallet and you can't trust them. I mean, yes, technically, the original OGL, while it was perpetual, was not irrevocable. They're not probably outside of what is legal, but they are outside of what is, in my opinion, morally acceptable. When I see a perpetual license, that doesn't mean to me hey, this is going really great. I'm creating all of this content in this amazing ecosystem that is going to be mine as part of this ecosystem forever, and I can monetize and I can use to hire great creatives to make more content. This is going to be amazing, and we're going to do this forever. And oh, by the way, one day you can say, actually no, and then all of that will change, and now you're gleaning 25% of my revenue. No, when I hear perpetual, what I understand is not perpetual, but like then, and then like less perpetual later. I think, from a non-lawyer standpoint, I think that means perpetual, right? Like, we've got a document called the Perpetual WAN Show document. Okay? That doesn't mean that this WAN Show document is perpetual until we decide to make an ephemeral WAN Show document. Okay? It's perpetual. This is the only WAN Show document. We used to have a separate document every week, but we now have a perpetual WAN Show document because that way we don't have to make sure it's shared to all the stupid accounts on all the different computers and everything every week. Team viewer, JMFunk9119 in Floatplane chat. Yeah, exactly. When I buy a perpetual license to your fucking software, that means it's mine forever, not it's perpetually mine until you decide it isn't mine anymore. No, forget it. All right, so our discussion questions here. Who should take charge of ORC? I mean, honestly, I don't have enough experience in it to say. How truthful? Oh, this is great. Some of our other discussion questions are really great, though. Luke, if you think it was truthful that Wizards of the Coast's intent was to stop bigotry and NFTs, say nothing. Or wait, no, don't say it. Say something. Crap. I set that whole thing up and then I got it completely wrong. Fuck. Bitch.